First thing we're going to do is take off the screen and see if we can remove any hair or other debris that might be underneath. So if we have a pretty long screw going into there, and lift that screen off. If we look down into the drain, we don't see any hair or any obstructions. Okay, we have a piece of insulated 12 gauge wire. I'm just going to shove that down in there. See if we can find anything that might be obstructed. Okay, nothing seems to be apparent. This is a plunger type tub stopper. What we'll need to do here is remove the overflow plate, and the actual stopper itself is down inside an overflow tube behind the plate. And we'll pull that assembly out and clean any hair or other debris that might be on it that might be obstructing the drain. Okay, they call this the overflow plate, of course, for good reason, because it covers up the overflow tube. They call it the overflow tube for good reason too, because if you go away and leave your tub filling, the water will come up to this point on the overflow plate and just start running into the overflow tube and go down the drain, so you don't have water all over your bathroom floor when you're done. Okay, first we'll just take a screwdriver and slowly unscrew the overflow plate. Okay, you can get that screw out, and we'll do the same for the other screw. The screws went right in here, directly into the overflow tube, which is this. And now we're going to pull this out. This is called the lift assembly. Might be a little tricky getting out, but you just have to kind of fiddle with it a bit. And this is the stopper, which goes down to the bottom of the tube and blocks the water from draining. So we can see that obviously something is keeping the water from going down the drain. Next thing we're going to try is a sink plunger. You'll need a little bit of water down here to form some nice suction around that plunger so it'll plunge. And because we have this overflow tube, we need to block that up, because as you're plunging, the suction will just go right up through there and it won't unclog anything while you're plunging. So we want to stuff that up nice and tightly with a washcloth or some other rag, so you don't get any suction coming out of there. And we'll try that. Okay, we're adding a little bit more water to create a little bit more suction and keep it plunging. It looks like we have some nice drainage action now. The sink plunger worked for us. If that doesn't work for you, then you might want to try a larger plunger, like a toilet plunger, that could unstop the drain. Whenever you are plunging, never, ever use chemical drain cleaners. They contain lye or other harsh chemicals. If they splash up in your face or eyes or all over your skin, you're asking for trouble. So don't do that. If the plunger doesn't work for you, then you might want to try running an auger through the overflow tube right here. You run the auger down there and crank it, and it should undo any obstruction that is in the pipe. If that doesn't work for you, then what you'll need to do is probably go behind the tub and gain access to the P-trap beneath the drain, the plastic P-trap, and that you should be able to easily unscrew if it's PVC type drain, and then take that out, clean it out, put it back, and you should be all set. Okay, since you have everything apart, you might as well clean it up good. So we've cleaned up the lift assembly here and got all the crud and hair out of there, so it doesn't stop up our drain again so quickly. We've cleaned off around the opening where the overflow plate goes, and cleaned up our stopper. So now we're going to put the lift assembly back in the overflow tube. Want to make sure you put in the same way you got it out, and it might be a little tricky, so we just got to kind of work at it to get it in. Put the stopper in first. Make sure that slides down there. Let something come off here. Put that back back on. Okay. And we're going to slide this down. Okay, and as I say, it takes a little work sometimes to get it around, get it fit down in there, but it should go in nice and loosely once you get that in there. You make sure you get your screws screwing into the overflow tube nice and smoothly. You don't strip threads or strip the tube, and then you just go ahead and screw those in. Okay, and last step is we're going to put the rain screen back on. Okay, last thing we're going to do is check, see if it works properly. We're going to pull this lever up. That will engage the stopper, and the water should not go down the drain. When you push this lever down, the stopper should lift, and the water should flow nicely down the drain. And there it goes.